Mm-hmm. Good morning, good morning. We're going to be testing some different things that we haven't done the same way in a different way for a little bit, just in case. I need to minimize this. Mystic Manny is going to be on today.
Yay! Need a few bites and I'll go get you.
I'm not going to turn the video on yet. We'll see it, but they won't.
And my headset should be charged by now.
And they can hear me saying they will, but you won't. Vice versa. So, hello. We're still getting set up and stuffing our faces.
Now let me know when you like champagne and I will get. Hey! Hey! No! Be careful, Bubby.
She's gonna hurt you one day. You gotta stop. Stop it!
You can go in the back by yourself.
No!
Probably we have the food.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That is exactly why. No! Do you hear me yelling at my dog? He's trying to attack VG, and VG's gonna hurt him one day. Holy mother.
Literally.
She's... Yes. She will chomp it. Chomp, chomp, num, nom.
But for the past year and a half, she's been very good with him and all of them. No, man, no. No.
He is such a bad boy.
I think.
Bad Dougie.
You gotta get her champagne to get ready.
What up?
Lord Vader, can you hear me?
Yes.
Why am I green?
You're green.
Is
Oh,
my
you-
camera fucking up?
You went green and then you're back. You're not green anymore.
Oh no.
You're good. You look normal. Well, relative speaking. It is, excuse me, it's a little flashy.
It is. I just noticed that. Oh my god. Hold on.
While everybody can hear us, they cannot see us, so we can work out the kinkies
Yeah.
if we need to. And I'm still eating, so yeah, there's that.
So you can hear me fine. It's just
Yeah, I can
camera
hear you fine, and I can see you. It's like in and out. Weird.
why it's doing that. Let me look. I'm checking my
It's bored.
I'm changing my connection real quick. Because that might be why.
Sounds good. That's why we're early.
I'm still kind of doing it. Oh. What the hell? Alright, let me try something. I'll be right back.
Yep, we'll be right here.
Oh, I don't know if they can even hear me.
Yes, they can hear you. Paranormal, welcome. We're still getting some ironings out. And I know says that there's music and there's not. Because I'm working on it. I am working on it as fast as I can. Even my camera is itchy. I don't know what's going on. This is very strange. My computer's not even close to being maxed out, and it is having a hard time with video. So we may not be on video today. Who knows? I hope so, but we'll check. Because like I am very spotty. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's incredibly low quality and not even hey Fairy Rage. It's very low quality and yeah, it's just not even an issue. Which is why we do this. Let me see. I did change a setting. I don't think that's going to change anything. Makes no sense why things are different all of a sudden. And it's only in Discord. So like the audio, the video and stuff on my end is great, but Discord is showing it very terrible. Maybe. Do we need to change our server? Thank you. The video is terrible. We're still planning on starting at 11 o'clock as usual, but we figured we'd get live and make sure that things are working. We got lots of fun things today. Rook will be here just shortly. Mystic Manny will be with us today. And maybe it'll work. Oh, you know what? Yes? I swear.
Let me answer so that I can finish real quick.
Yeah, just answer. I need to get it set up. Yes. Mystic Rage, I was late getting Dragon Dancer's message. Oh, and hey, Dragon Dancer. Sorry I didn't see you there. But I was late getting your text message. Hopefully you guys are on the roll now. And moving. Yeah, we did a no cell phone, no tech, no connection day yesterday where we got on our motorcycles, went to the beach, got in the water for the first time in many, many years. Might even do it again today, who knows. Drove through the rain. It was amazing. Good morning, Tabby. Good morning, Ziggy. Dragon Dancer. Oof. We'll just leave it there, I guess, right? We'll leave it at oof. We'll leave it at oof. Manny was having some camera issues, so hopefully that will be resolved shortly. And Rook, is getting a few things set up. As you know, it's been a crazy couple of days. What? Who ended up on the news? Hopefully that's not too loud. We did. We were at the beach for quite a while and we stayed. We really got some relaxing going. It was nice. Hopefully that's not too loud. Oh yeah, I want to know. When we're done here, we have to talk. That is crazy. It was I'm telling you, doing a disconnect day is just, it's necessary and proper. I'll tell you, I mean, I've known that I've needed to do it for a while. And that's going to be a little bit about what we're talking about today, too. That's going to come up. Thank you. Thank you, Fairy Rage. This is my favorite dude, Herknunger. Check him out on YouTube. I don't know why I just stopped, but it will come back.
There we go.
There you are.
And now I'm smooth.
Yep. I don't know what happened. My end was terrible too. I had to do a whole bunch of stuff.
It's doing it again all of a sudden.
That is so weird. I've never seen it go green like that.
Why? I might have to do this on my phone.
It's weird too because the audio is perfect, so it has to be camera specific. And
I don't know why it's doing that.
I was having a lot of trouble with the video just a minute ago and I had to go change a couple settings, but so Discord should be good. What?
It's only giving me the one option. Otherwise, this one's OBS virtual.
Today might be a green day. I can see that.
Go. I feel like it starts off clear and then it just goes.
Mm-hmm. That is weird. There's not anything else on your computer using video, is it? Like fighting for it?
That's what I'm looking for right now. Get rid of you. Are you doing something? Hold on.
Bradley, you need to get in too, sir. Go into your direct messages. Find the most recent one that has me and Mystic Manny in it, and you. And click on it and make sure you're in video.
Am I supposed to call you?
No, I just gave you instructions.
And where?
Go into your direct messages. Click on this the direct message that has all three of us in it, and then hit the video share. Like we've never done this before. Y'all gonna have to wait until I'm done with my bacon. I'm talking to the dog, sorry. We are just doing finishing touches on getting the video right, and Rook
Where's my knee?
can't get in either.
Let's see. What's this?
Okay, guys, I'm gonna be back. I gotta go check on Brad while he's still not in the system. Which is a 2 clicks.
Oh, well, I didn't know. Thank you.
Hear me, Bubby.
No.
Thank you for your help.
I'm having some drama here. I wonder if it's my AMD now, because it says my...
Ben.
You have Finn and I had Draco.
Well, Finn is on the ground now, where he belongs at the moment.
He's coming over. I've been working on my job.
Furry says it's not easy being green. And just for chat, you know, hold on, we don't want to play that right now. Since we're only doing the first and third of each month now, Sunday, we're taking it a little bit slower, so we will be live for a while. So give us just a few more minutes. We'll be good. I'm looking for a playlist.
I just have my default right now, because this is driving me crazy.
Well, we can at least hear you and see your place.
Yeah.
So that's good.
This is so bizarre, and I have nothing else going on, but for some reason, my disc keeps jumping up to like 97% and it goes red.
Something going on in the background, right?
That's gotta be something.
It's alright. I don't know if you want to try your phone or if you're good just audio for a little bit. I have one more piece of bacon to eat and then we're ready.
Bacon sounds so good right now.
Mm-hmm. If you have not checked out Herknunger for music, you would enjoy it. It is very interesting. It is very lots of different ways that he does it. Pretty cool. Very enjoyable. All the dogs are mad at me because I got bacon and I did not share this time like I usually do.
It does not like me today.
No.
This is the first that it's doing that.
That's
I
me
have
every day.
I have a brand new hard drive and everything. So it's gotta be something that's like...
Well, like I said, it's a pain in the backside. No, ma'am, you don't get up there. A pain in the backside. Technology is.
Yeah.
Ma, get off of the table. Let me burn some of my opium.
I'm burning holy smoke.
I got a teeterbug.
That's a really good one.
That is a good one. I like it because you can
Oh.
find it in lots of places too.
It's really pretty, like Native American-y. It always comes with like a little feather in there.
Stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. All right.
It's really nice. It's pretty.
Of course, I had to put her up, or she had to get up right when somebody walked by.
It was called to it.
Well, she's definitely being called. I'm about to call her to her bedroom.
Let me know if you want me to put her in the bag.
Hopefully she'll calm down after a minute. All right. So I think we can go ahead and get started. Manny, hopefully we can get your video going, but the audio has been crystal clear, so.
Okay.
I haven't had any hiccups, or at least that I've heard. I haven't had anything. It sounds really good, actually. Granted, again, would love to have you on video if you can get it, but again, if not, we're good. We go with the flow.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, if it's like anything else right now, nothing digital or electronic is working the way it is supposed to here either, which actually we're going to talk about today. It's part of one of our topics.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so let's transition over to video, y'all.
The video.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. All right.
Hi.
It's been a very interesting morning.
Good morning.
So, obviously today we have Mystic Manny with us, and we'll be having some discussions. I am going to throw it out there. If anybody else is on Discord and would like to join in the conversation, being that we are in our rooms, it gives us a lot more flexibility to kind of have discussions. So you are more than welcome to hop in.
Jump in.
Well, you can't really hop in. It's a private call. You have to let us know, and then we'll bring you in, audio or video. So please feel free. So we do have like a couple of topics today. And again, one of them for me has been a video I watched with Mayim Bialik, whom I love. I do love her. I like listening to her talk about neuropsychology and neuroprocesses and behavior, cognitive behavior. She touches on EMDR. And even polyvagal theory is also something she's talked about. But in this most recent one, she did a 2-week digital detox. I am not capable at this moment of going through a 2-week digital detox. I would probably die and get fired. But I shared the video with Rook. I didn't have it queued up. I will put it in the Discord if anybody wants to see it. But instead
really
of
good.
It is. But instead of doing a 2-week, what we did is we just did 1 day. Part of a day even. And I think that is going to be part of the snippet. I even told my boss, hey, Saturday from like 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., I'm not taking my phone with me. She's like, okay, that's smart. That's a good idea. So I yelled at Rook every time he touched his phone.
Yes, he did. Look, I didn't realize the camera was off. I just wanted to show you all.
I was
I'm
wondering
burning
why
to
you were
love
doing
this.
that since I had said the camera was on. But, you know,
And
whatever.
the camera's not. This smells really good. It's a beautiful packaging, and
Holy smokes.
everyone, I'm sure you all know what it is. Always comes with a little feather.
Little fat there.
It's really pretty. Okay, sorry. I just
That's
had
okay.
to re-show it because I
But
didn't realize it.
yeah, no worries. I think it's a good one too. But we can always come back to that because this is going to be a free flow. However long it takes, whether it's 1 or 4 hours. We don't. It just is what it is. Lots of things have changed for us in the last couple of weeks. And like I said, that digital detox yesterday, we literally, and we'll go into more detail, I think, but we literally just not checking my phone, not looking at Facebook, not doing any of that, going to the beach, eating without checking the phone at lunch, putting it away, even though I had to yell at you a few times for that.
You did. I think for me, I need to turn mine off. Would be
Yeah.
an extra step to take.
Yeah. And we'll
Probably forget to turn it back on, but
yeah, I do that too. That's why I don't turn it off. But we did pretty good. We took it with us because I the one thing of technology that I am very dependent upon is the cameras to check the dogs. One of my biggest fears is a fire in the house or a break-in where the dogs either get loose from a break-in or they get hurt in a fire, and I just freak out about that. So I kind of keep that as a piece of thing that I like to get stuck with. Like I get to hold on to that. But other than that, I didn't even check that yesterday, but once until we were almost home. And we did a lot of just went to the beach, got in the water, just relaxed and just zoned out without any stuff. So yeah, it was very, very neat. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, how it is kind of pushing through our current topic, or my current topic of authenticity.
hey, Calvin.
Hey,
Good
Kelvin.
morning, welcome.
I think the first thing I wanted to kind of ask about, if you're not still working on your camera, Manny, and paranormal, I know we can't right now. Hopefully soon. But
Manny.
I'm starting to reevaluate my relationship with technology, and I just wanted to get your point on how you feel about it. Do you feel you're using it enough, too much? Does it get in the way of your witchy stuff? If you're still there. Uh-oh. You can still hear me, Rook, can't you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, but Manny, I do not hear anything. I'm curious if a restart has been initiated.
Start.
So we'll see. Yeah, I think he's restarted. We'll give him a minute. He can should be able to hop back in when he's ready. But Rook, what do you think about that? Same question, same idea.
Yeah, I think for me, probably like a lot of people, I just feel consumed by it. Like how many times you sit there and
Hey.
hey, do you notice that like you just keep going and checking and scrolling, and the scrolling thing gets me. Like I'll do it, and then 2 or 3 minutes later during watching a show or something when I'm supposed to relax, I go on Facebook. LinkedIn is my big one. I'm obsessed with LinkedIn. I probably like that better than any of them because it's professional. It kind of keeps mostly drama off, but
Okay, just going to say this. You need to reposition your microphone a little bit if you're using the one on your headset down.
down like this.
Yep, because it was muffling there when you turn your head.
But I need to figure out how to get out of the cycle of scrolling, because that's what I'm doing, scrolling constantly. 2 minutes, I'll do it. 2 minutes later, I'll pull it up and scroll. It's like, that's freaking nuts.
I don't know if it's
It is
just...
always an aimless thing for us to scroll. Like
Yeah.
it's just like it's mindless.
Yeah, that is definitely my problem. Is the just constantly going through it. Like, I don't know if you heard the question or what I was asking specifically, Manny, but it was really kind of what's your relationship with technology, and is it beneficial to our practice? Does it get in the way? Both, neither, sometimes.
I think it's a little bit of both. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, so it can kind of get in the way of things because it takes away from the authenticity sometimes, the organicness of what it is that we do. But at the same time, it's also beneficial because it can help us connect. We can do stuff in a virtual space. We can utilize it for audio if we want to play certain sounds and music to get us in a certain headspace. It allows us to communicate with others on other, like not just on Facebook, but like Instagram and stuff like that, whatever experiences that we have going on. But there's also, we have to be careful if and when we're using social media and technology, not to get too carried away with it, because that's the biggest thing that we keep doing. We're always, on the phone, all the time, not even looking up, or that's a big thing.
Yeah, I completely see that, and I'm kind of pulling in a little bit of what Ziggy mentioned. We both have two phones too all the time. We're always on it.
Yeah.
But I
I
think,
was gonna say that. Yeah, we can relate.
yeah, I think though there is a separation. Like there's in my brain, or at least I'm starting to feel a separation between something. Excuse me, something like Discord, Skype, to directly live time synchronously engage versus social media scrolling with no actual engagement. It's all past engagement. No matter what you do, what you're scrolling through has already occurred, right?
Right.
So like this kind of technology, I'm thinking I want to bring more of it into my life. Um, and social media, I want less. At least that's been my recent, and that's what I learned from the Mayim Bialik's vlog that she did. That's kind of what I got out of it, is the social media, and the always connected. So when I have a text or an email, I have to immediately see it and see if it's important. Like there's no delay. I freak out.
Well, I get that too, but about a month ago, I was at a big healthcare conference here in Florida, and I met a lady, another administrator, who said at her company, they will get like in trouble if they answer emails after 5 p.m. Like their company was real big on the culture that after 5 you don't respond to an email. Emails can wait till the next day.
I might
So
need to apply.
I think that was interesting. She said no, literally. She said she got written up because they had the went over the policy and orientation, and she answered an email like at 7:30 at night or something, went out, and she got in trouble because that company's culture was to disconnect after the work hours. And I thought that was really cool. It'd be neat if more places did that, and I'm sure they do.
What?
But it's human nature to want to open that email and see what is it.
Yeah. What? And I want to get a little bit more into the witchy part of it too, but I do want to, like. There's one thing that just popped into my head because I know how I react. But for both of you, what is the first thing that you do when you hear the message tone on your phone?
Oh my
So like
God. Like that's me. I'm like, oh
I'm
my
always
God.
I'm always looking to see what it is, if it's a text or if it's an email or if it's a notification on Facebook or if it's a ping from Facebook Messenger or if it's something that someone reacted to on something else. And it's just like, I don't know why I'm so driven to just like, ooh, who noticed me? And it's,
Yes. I mean, it's classical Pavlovian conditioning. We know that ding might give us something that makes us feel good about ourselves or that we enjoy, so we jump. And I'm the same way. Like as soon as I hear that text message, I've got a or email button. I have to see it. Um, I still like every time there's an email, I have my notification set up to banner, so I have to at least see who it's from and what it is. And at the end of the day, my boss is laughing at me all the time and probably a little concerned. I can get 500 emails in a day. I will not be done with the day until every email has at least been touched.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
can't. And this is kind of letting me do that. She's like, well, I'm giving you permission to not read your emails every day. I'm like, okay. However, it's not a work problem. My boss is amazing. Where I work is amazing. I mean, everybody is just top notch. I have no complaints about the people I work with. So it is me. There's no question.
The way I feel about it is if, and I'm gonna go into my new place next week and tell them the expectation. I don't want anybody answering emails after 5. If it's that important, it won't be an email. You'll
It'll
get
be
a
a call.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
for me, you won't get a text. I'll call you.
Oh, I'll text.
Like if it's really that important.
You're right, though. And it's interesting to set that expectation, but not do it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I do that.
That part.
Oh yeah, and you know what's funny I've learned about that, like when you manage people, is I can say, guys, take time off, don't answer emails, it's okay. But then I send them an email, and they're like, well, you're emailing me at 7 o'clock. I have to respond. You're my boss. I'm like, no, I'm emailing you because if I don't, I'll forget. So I'm sending it out there so that it's there. You don't have to check it until the morning. But then it still creates an atmosphere of, well, if he's doing it and I'm not, it looks like I'm doing less or engaging less, and it's very unhealthy work practice that I'm trying to do better on. But that Mayan Bialik video, again, I want to post it so you guys can watch it too. I'm going to look it up in a minute because it is just on point.
It's a good 12 minutes. It's worth your time.
It is. And it's not, I mean, most of us can't do 2 weeks of no tech probably, but it does underline benefits of cutting tech back, and I am going to do that in some ways, and I'm going to increase it in others. Like we want to increase making videos and doing lives on YouTube, not because of the need for content, but just to engage with people, more people further out. It's why we have an open invite right now. If anybody wants to come in and chat on this topic, even if it's just this topic, you can let me know. We'll add you through the Discord call, put you up on the screen. You don't even have to use video, and we'll bring you in. But a few minutes ago, we talked about it from the witchy perspective, and Manny, you touched on that a little bit. I, too, believe like this is a really positive use of technology and the chat, because it gets you thinking and gets you moving. But there's also like specific witchy social media. You think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Like not just witch talk, but there's an actual witch Facebook.
It's kind of cool.
I don't know if I remember about that one or not. I probably remember it. I just don't right at the moment. It's a social media space specifically for like witches and pagans and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. It's called Witch Lens.
Okay, that one I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a member and I was in it, but I found it to be the exact same as any other social media. I'm like, I don't want another social media. I don't think I want social media. Like that's the thing. I don't want to connect.
No.
That's a lie. I do.
It can be a lot. It can be a little and it can be a lot, social media. And that does affect how we as people that, practice do things. That can get in the way of what we do and how we do it. So we have to be careful how we interact on social media as well, not just for like what we do and how we display ourselves, but for ourselves, for our own mental capacity and stuff. Like that it's like that look we were saying earlier in regards to the dings. Like immediately we look at our phones to see what's going on. It's very Pavlonian. Did I say that right? Pavlonian.
Just the N with a V, Pavlovian.
Pavlonian. Worcestershire. Okay.
Yeah. What's the sear sauce? What's the sear sauce?
Motto.
Sorry about the little noise break in. That was me getting the link for you guys in Discord. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I think it's a variable because some, people, to each their own, and what they do and how they do it. Everyone's path is different. We're not going to have the same. So, how they express themselves, how they interact with others, it's really ultimately up to them. But it's something that's different too. And then when it gets these views, and then somehow that consumes them, that kind of makes them a little that makes me kind of uncomfortable seeing some posts and stuff, kind of like the witch talk.
Yeah.
Some are good, some are bad, or not bad, but
I know
not
what you
ideal.
mean. I think that if I'm hearing you correctly, kind of what I when I look through, I get torn between, okay, what you're saying to other people is stupid, but then I feel gatekeepy, but then I see gatekeeping, I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. But
Yeah.
it's like there are some misguidings, uh, and you're right. I don't think no matter how you look at it, if you get engaged with it, social media, whether it's witch talk or witch lens or whatever, you're gonna start getting that Pavlovian response to it, and your mouth is gonna water when they bring you the dog food,
Yes.
even if you just smell it, you know.
Hi, Joy.
Hey, Joy, welcome
Good
in.
morning. Welcome. Welcome, my sister.
Yes, yes, yes. So we can hear Manny. We tried to get video, but you know what? He just is um, not complying. It's all his fault.
It's
I
all
ju-
it's all
But
problem.
it's all tech though, right? We did a tech disconnect that we watched with Mayim. Our tech disconnect yesterday, which was amazing, and now we have video disconnect. It is what it is.
That's
Yeah.
what freaks me out about all this AI stuff, all the issues. One little glitch in a program for something that could really screw some shit up.
Mm-hmm. It really
It's
could.
horrifying thinking about that. That's why we don't have any. We don't intentionally have any AI in our household. I say intentionally because I'm sure there's probably something in our phones and other devices and stuff
Mm-hmm.
that But like we don't have an Alexa, or any. We don't
Mm.
have a smart fridge.
I unplugged ours yesterday
Probably the
because
worst thing
it
is our
kept
smart
talking.
TV.
I saw yeah, Brian unplugged ours
I
yesterday.
don't like it. I never did like it, but I was in another room and all of a sudden I hear Alexa. I was like, oh no. And I literally just like said, oh no, bitch, you gone. And I went out and unplugged it. I'm like,
Yeah, Paranormal Witch said it can cause like mental issues, and I definitely think social media and technology can cause anxiety, just like several years ago when I worked in call centers, and I would be home and I would literally get anxiety when the phone would ring. It's like you gotta find a way to whatever's appropriate individually to disconnect or lessen. Mine's
I
You
just
have to
scrolling.
cater to your needs. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
everyone's needs are different, but you have to cater to them.
I kind of feel like I don't know that I would have ever gotten engaged with the left hand path um, if it weren't for this type of media, but the live time media, the streams and discords and chat live chats. Um, and I think that that is what is kind of engaging to me out of all of technology. It's the social media makes me nervous, but when you think about that from the AI perspective, I don't think the AI in obviously in and of itself is an issue. I think the biggest issue with AI for me is it makes me question my necessity. Like why do I even need to be if it can do all the things it needs to do? Like it can make the questions in the comments. At some point, it's going to realize, just like the robot we talked about before. Remember where the robot, there's two examples. One was the robot was programmed to move something around and then put it back, and then move it around and put it back on a shelf. And after like a few minutes, it disconnected itself. It's like this is completely useless. It basically committed suicide because it realized there's no point. And then the one that leaks the hydraulic fluid, and it's programmed to try to sweep it up so that it doesn't die. And that's all it does all day is sweep up that. Oh God, it gives me
On the floor, yeah.
yeah. I don't like it. Skynet is coming. Hey, unexplained. How's it going?
Hey.
But I there are some like I've been using Chat GPT a little bit, and I will say it's easier, and the I can see where the problem is right now. We're all skeptical, including myself. So when I ask Chat GPT a question, it's given me pretty good answers and keeping things going. But I don't trust it, so I check all of the answers once it gives me a direction. Two things can happen, right? Especially from a witchy perspective, it can either drive me down the wrong road or just come up with something that really isn't connected, and I might Like I say, hey, what's the left-hand path? Well, that's actually associated with Satanism because it's pulling information from somewhere and it may not be the right place all the time. So you have to continue, just like internet, when internet came out and we lost it, where we used to know how to look for the right sources and really get good information. Like, don't get your information about a supplement from the place that the supplement is sold from, who's making money from it. Get it from the person that has nothing to gain, but also found it useful and enjoyed whatever that particular supplement is. It's that kind of stuff that makes me nervous with AI. And from the witchy perspective, I can see lots of AI gatekeeping, and I can see us eventually just accepting what it says as what things are, like a lot of people do already. We have conversations in here, and we tell people how we feel about things, and people can latch onto that and do it that way. But it gives you an opportunity to discuss it and kind of feel back and forth about things in practice, where technology doesn't always do that, and Chat GPT doesn't either. It's so human-like. Makes me nervous. It really does. And it's that human likeness that knocks you off your guard at first and be like, oh, this is weird. But then it's like, wow, this is really helpful. And like, it literally just told me to jump off of a bridge, and it's so real. Maybe I should, that kind of stuff. I don't know. Terrifying.
It's like that in the sense of Uncanny Valley.
I am waiting for my tinfoil hat, just for the record.
We should make tinfoil hats.
We should, but I actually did order a baseball cap that says tinfoil on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just wait for it to come. All of this conversation, this technology conversation with witchy stuff, has come out of, like I said, initially it's me reading through the Kybalion. But secondly, I ran into this video with Maya and Bialik, and then yesterday our experience with not having to look at our phones every 5 seconds. Like some of the technology I love, like music, I am realizing with our other topic today of authenticity, that disconnecting from some of the technology is actually increasing my personal feeling of being authentic to myself. I've said her name 100 times, but Maya Bialik, she also does that in her video. I'm telling you guys, you should watch it. But yeah, so like the big topic for me has been authenticity. That's also coming out of the reading that I'm doing. But it's just your authentic self is in most cases what people think of as being honest and being transparent and being who you are and doing what you choose to do. But it's more than that, because at least for me, I don't know what my authentic self really is, because I haven't been asking myself or doing those things for so many years. I haven't been going to the beach. Growing up, you couldn't find me anywhere else all the way through my early 20s. And haven't been maybe once in the past couple of years. Finally went. It's like rebirth, like a refinding that part of yourself. And maybe it's midlife crisis, I don't know. But it's like rebirth into that. This is who I'm supposed to be. I need to slow down, pay attention to what's around me, disconnect a little bit, and you find more of your authentic self. Like, I love trance, house, EDM, techno music. It helps transport me to other places. It's very meditative for me. I've been listening to it for years, and I don't know why. It's just because I've lost the thing of it, and then I start rediscovering it, and so that authenticity comes back. So that disconnect, that short disconnect from technology, has led me to this whole internal epiphany of authenticity that I thought I was already doing, right? Yeah, I did college when I was 19, 20, and then I went back, finally finished as an adult. But yeah, so that's, what are your thoughts on that? Either one.
I think a lot of it has to do with, finding your true self or your authentic self. Dealing with what we deal with on a daily basis, technology slowly but surely advancing more and more. It becomes a distraction. And then we go crazy and we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then that's when we get hooked on notifications or social media or anything else. And then you pull away for a little bit. Like they tell you to go camping or go experience nature. That's a good example of experiencing nature or whatever. And you're out there and you're away from technology, even if it's for a weekend. and then you just feel completely different. You're like, wow, like this tree, wow, this creek, wow, that squirrel. Even though you see squirrels
All the
like
time.
normally, but for some reason, this particular squirrel,
It's
I mean,
it's
I think
so
that's what
true.
part of it.
What do you think though? Like, what practice or what something that you can do or that you would do yourself to get back to that? Because for me, it was like I I I know what I like, but I don't practice it much. And then when I rediscovered, it's like, oh, this is amazing! Like it's the first time I've ever seen. I'm like, I've been doing this for 40 years. What in the world is wrong with you? Yes, you're supposed to go to the beach and let your legs get in the lake and go swimming in the beach, but what's a good way to for both and I forgot to let Brad talk, my bad. But
No, for me, I definitely enjoyed the beach, but growing up in the country, my place is the lake, and for a couple reasons. It's because number one, there's not a freaking good cell signal out there, so the phone doesn't work. Like it doesn't work until you get about 5 or 10 miles away from the lake by where I grew up. Number two, it's that open space and not just the land, but the water that's just open and being out and going tubing or on the jet skis, just getting away and being there without the phone that works. And thankfully, in a week, I'll be at the lake for a few days,
we
so
will.
I will get my fix away from things by force.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to force it. Like my thing
Ah,
is, I just we talk about this too, but I will put something on my list to do, and then when we go to do it, it feels like a chore, and then I don't enjoy it. Um, So to disengage it, like I have to make an active, conscious effort to okay, just do this now, because once I start it, I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like sometimes I just don't feel like getting in the pool, but then I do, and I'm like, you know what, just get in, just put your legs in. Oh, I'm glad I did. This was nice.
And
So
like reading, that's one thing in that video you're referencing,
yeah,
Mayim's video. Reading has always been like meditating for me, and then I just don't make time to do it. But I did yesterday for about 45 minutes, and it was just like that with going to the beach just took me way down, way calm, and I became more engaged. And she talks about in that video that she read more and didn't watch, TV. I can't go without complete TV, but the TV that I do like, luckily, I can get on YouTube through different channels. And so that will be my TV, but doing less of that and reading. Reading is really meditation for me. I just don't do it. Why don't I do it?
I
Don't
think
make time for it.
I think it's the one thing that she had mentioned that spoke to me was the visual acumen of watching something that I want to learn versus watching something that I just want to like get for entertainment value. If I watch something on YouTube to learn, I don't learn it as well as if I'm reading it because I'm not creating the connections in my head to experience whatever that thing is. Like I said, I've been reading the Kybalion and making the connections in my head completely different than watching it, somebody else put their thoughts up about it. You know what I mean? Because you stop and you think, it's like, wait a minute, that makes sense here. What about this? And you start making mental, neuroplasticity is a part of that, but making those mental connections to get to the place you're trying to get to. But Manny, what about you? What do you do to help you disconnect and get back into whatever you need to do?
Before I get that, Joy made a valid point. Says all of this is taking time for self. Sometimes it is doing nothing. And I think that's something that we all need to remember because we're so accustomed to always doing something to the point that if we do nothing, we're conditioned to be like, if I'm not doing anything, I'm still wasting time. Like I have to do
Mm-hmm.
something. So I have to go enjoy myself by physically doing something else rather than just sitting still and in the moment. You could just be sitting still in the moment and reflecting on anything. I think that's actually something that's very important. In order to get me though, I need a muse, and my biggest muse is music. So it really I listen to scores from movies, soundtracks, and stuff like that, and that just really puts me in a place to start getting things done. So whether it be doing chores around the house, or if it being putting me in the mood to do something outside that I normally don't do, like gardening, which I can't do that now, but like when I did when I was in Florida, or I would just experience by creating something. It was very meditative for me, be it drawing or creating something in an aquarium or in a vivarium for like my reptile or amphibian or whatever. Music is just really, it just really empowers me a lot, and I do utilize it a lot when it comes to my practices. It really just puts me and heightens my senses, and it just really gets me into there, and then like my energy is just like all over the place, and then I just focus it, and then I direct it to what it is that I'm working on.
I can absolutely get that. The music is a huge. Some of my best experiences have been with certain specific music, and rhythmic motions for me that kind of get me into a headspace where I don't otherwise get into very easily. And I think that's huge. And the other the other piece to it, I think, for just kind of getting back to being authentic and going on with joy about taking time for self and doing nothing. But I think even in doing nothing, like I have something that's happening or going on, but there's very little time where I don't feel like I have to be actively producing something. And I know I complain often about work. I'm like, I'm so busy. There's so much to. I create 80% of that. So much to do. If I step back a little bit, I can make it less busy. And I think that is definitely something that I need to pay more attention to. And definitely music, because I like all kinds of music, but there are certain types of music specifically that really make an impact, and I just haven't been paying as much attention to it for some reason, and I don't know why. It's just odd. And it's like everybody's saying. I think everybody feels this. I think to a degree, it's that it's not that necessarily time for self. It's just time without a constraint or direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like yesterday, it wasn't that we didn't have anything planned to do or we're quote just taking time to relax ourselves. It was literally like, let's just get on the bikes and figure out where we're going, and maybe we can end up at the beach at some point, but we'll get there when we get there, and we'll eat when we eat, and we'll stop when we stop. And it rained on us really hard, and all the things that I would have complained about before. And it's, again, I think a lot of people go through this at some point, and maybe more than once, because I think I've gone through this before. Now, granted, for me personally, a lot of this is coming out of a rededication, a reinitiation ceremony I did recently to kind of make a final official push towards working with a deity that I've worked with many times before, but getting back into it to learn, focus on that reconnection, which is very, has changed my perspective on a lot of things. I've had some very, very weird experiences after that. And then also kind of celebrating and having the coffee with Rook on my dad's birthday, even though we weren't together, and kind of just taking it out and pouring it onto the land was nice. Those are the things that are non-techy, or tech allowed us to do that together. That was cool. But it was live tech, live time, synchronous, same time. We were connected while doing it, not posting about it and then saying, "Oh, look at me!" If I get, why do I only have 5 people loving this, where I did all this work of going outside and doing this for my dad's birthday versus just doing it because I wanted to and it had a meaning.
That's the truth.
You reading anything new, anything fun, doing anything learning wise, something new in your life, Manny?
Not necessarily. There was that book you referenced last time. I think that's what you're talking about. That little black one with the gold writing.
Yeah, the Kybalion.
Yeah, I ended up actually ordering it, and Dante, yes, that one. Dante's already been reading it. He got to it before me, and he's absolutely loving it. He's just like, "Oh my god, I've been doing this the whole time."
Dude. That is exactly how I feel in reading the whole thing. I'm like, oh my god, this is and I don't know that I like. There's some things in there that I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. But all the underneath stuff, you can apply it to any practice or religion, and it will work. It'll like go with that conversation or that process with it. So you can see like your brain just like, to me, my brain just is on that bandwidth. It is 100% resonating the same way Uncle Setnak's guide did. Everything except the ritual part in the end, because I'm not dedicating myself. That's not in my repertoire. But the theories and processes and the feelings behind it are, you will. I can guarantee it. You will, because I want to talk about this more today if anybody's interested. But I don't think I'm a hermeticist. I don't think that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I subscribe to the hermetic philosophy. But what I can say is my belief system and how I feel that the world is engaged at the universal level from the top to the bottom does fit completely within this book. I am
wild.
obsessive with it. Like it's such an easy read. This is kind of going on at the same time that I've been doing my rededication ceremony and reinitiation to Carnunos, and her and the hunter and stag god and green man, all that in one. And like after applying that and reading this at the same time, I don't know if my brain's just putting them all together, but I literally had about an hour and a half after the next day, after the ceremony, the ritual, and I was just looking at people in the airport moving around and doing stuff. Actually, it would have had to been a couple of days after, I think, because it was Thursday. It would have been Thursday, where I couldn't tell facial features apart from people. Like I couldn't recognize people for a minute, for like an hour, and it wasn't scary. It was just every person was every person, and every single person was the exact same and different, but the same. It was very strange, but it was very comforting, and it was very nice to experience for me, because I am a very judgmental person. I actively work to be less judgmental over the last, I'd say, 10 or 15 years. And the reason I say I am judgmental is because, those are, I think a lot of people can be, even if we would like to say we're not. I do. And I'm so much better at it now than I was when I was younger. However, I have a long way to go. And to have that experience where like I couldn't judge. And I think that was a clear sign of, shut up and back the F off. And it was almost more like even accepting to things that I don't like, or that are discomfort, or that I even can say that I hate. Like people that use certain things and call people name, and even people who hurt other people, they are still a part of this whole energy, and it changes your aspect, and it's very, very weird, but it's worth it. You got me excited talking about it. I think the most fun was, and I talked a little bit about it on the on Apocrypha on Friday, is there are the 7 principles. All of them make sense after I rework and go through them and apply them. The first one being the universe is mental, and it likens it to, like, while we can't describe it, or the all, which is whether it's God, gods and goddesses, animism, atheism, agnosticism, Catholicism, Christianity, whatever, Catholicism, Christianity, no matter what it is, the all is the all. Call it and explain it what you want, but you cannot know it, and it is unthinkable, which is why all of them make sense, and all of them don't at the same time. And just as an author sits down for the first time to write a new book about a new character, that character didn't exist until that author dreamt him up and put him on paper. Well, now that character is real. It might be a fantastical character. It might be one that you can't touch, but it is still definition real. And then that character does not become real to me until I mentally form that visual of that person out of that book, right? And it's the same thing, like that's creation. And so if everything that ever was is, and there can't be more or less than what is, which I think we've kind of talked about that too, right? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, just transformed. So science even supports that. The only thing that you would be able to do to create would be to mentally create things, and that's how the universe is created. It is a mental creation. Also, from the British explanation, crazy. It is definitely crazy. Because that is the idea behind the conversation, or the example that they gave was with Shakespeare and Macbeth. Macbeth existed when Shakespeare thought of him, and now Macbeth exists, and we can form a mental picture of it, because those of us that have read it, and then we can then engage in Macbeth as its own individual entity, but Macbeth is a part of its creator, which was Shakespeare. So every time we were looking at Macbeth, we're seeing a piece of the creator along with it. But Macbeth isn't Shakespeare. It's just a part of, and that's how they explain. It's so neat. I'm not even like I could literally almost reread the book to you out loud because it's just. I've gone back, I've reread, I've got notes and blah blah. But, whew. Rook, you're mental. What do you say?
What do I say? Well, yes, I am reading a new book that I started yesterday, and I'm really enjoying it. It's actually the first time it was ever recommended was by someone in this chat, Calvin, and I'm very thankful. For whatever reason, I finally started reading it.
And where did you get that book from?
This is your book, but it's Apotheosis, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Luciferianism and the Left-Hand Path by Michael W. Ford. And it has a lot of, and I'm only like 25 pages in, but it's got a lot of concepts that are common with paganism in general, like own your shit, good or bad, success and failures. You don't thank a god or blame the devil or someone for your failures or successes. That's one thing, and it just talks about the 11 points of power, and one of those things is we shouldn't feel bad if we have bad feelings about those. Love the deserving and have disdain for the undeserving. That doesn't mean you go and harm them, but it really helps with some concepts about not feeling guilty. Do what you want to do. If you don't want to do something, don't do it.
Don't do
I
it.
am not a get up and goer. Never have been.
Hmm.
So I shouldn't feel guilty
That's apparent.
that I don't get up and go. That's not me.
I'm
I
feeling
have
very attacked here.
I didn't mention your name, but
I am a get
I'm
up and goer.
I'm not, and I'm not a goer. I don't have to be doing something or going somewhere all the time. So I shouldn't feel guilty about that. I like to get up in the morning and think about it for a little bit. I like to have 2 or 3 cups of coffee and I go slow. Now, can I modify that because I have to for work and stuff? Yeah,
Or when
but
I
I'm
tell
not
you I'm
doing
going to go do something and I'm like, look, I'm leaving. Bye.
that's like, yeah. And I shouldn't feel bad about that. I
Should
should say,
not.
go. Do you go?
Yep.
I'm going to take my time and I'm going to read in my book and I'm not going to get my day started till 10 o'clock if that's what I want to do, you know. But anyway, it's a really good book so far. I really like it.
Would you say it's an
There's
easier read than some of his other ones?
Oh my God, yeah. So I tried to read some other books by him, and it was just too. I mean, it was beyond my understanding. But this really is a good book. It's a good foundation um, for any path in the occult, I think, and it gives good information about Luciferianism, regardless if you think you're a Luciferian or not. It's a really good and easy read so far. And it doesn't start out in the second freaking chapter like most of the occult books do about doing a dedication ceremony or a ritual. I don't want to fucking do a ritual. I haven't even read the basics. You know what I
I
mean?
know.
They
I
all do
agree.
it.
The only
And I
exception.
love Matt Oren, but that in his book was really good. But it's just, I think it'd be nice for me and my style to
Well,
have a fundamentals book and then have a book of practice.
what did we do? Well, I don't know if you did it, but we talked about this. Remember, I read through it and skipped every exercise, and then went back through and we looked at the exercises and did some of the ones we liked. Remember the bath salts, the moon rituals. So that I think is very beneficial. But in Matt's book, the rituals are very simple, and I think that
They
they're
are.
very like just they're almost meditations more than anything. And
Right.
Zens, as opposed to like I'm not lighting the Baphomet candle and going topless through the woods screaming yeah yet. I need a few years to do that. I need some time. And
Like,
yes, paranormal. Not to cut you off again, Rook, but I did, and I do push pretty hard. I have no qualms leaving Rookie at home if I am ready to go and do something. But
bye.
that is one of the reasons why we get along for the most part all the time, and except for today when he gets nasty. But in general, yeah. So we recognize that sometimes, even though a lot of our things align, sometimes they won't. And when they don't, it's okay to separate for a minute. Like, I really had to go to the beach yesterday. If Rook was like, I just don't feel like it, I would have still gone and he would have been fine with it. Because that stuff happens sometimes. And that's, I think, what has kept it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Just saying. But seriously, I mean, that's a big thing, right? Being able to... Now, I can slow down a little bit sometimes, too, which I have. Actually, what I start doing is lying about when we have to be ready for something, and that helps. If I
That's
say...
manipulation, but that's
Yep.
a good
And I don't feel
manipulation.
guilty, and Michael Ford said I didn't have to.
That's true. You don't have to feel guilty. Just like I don't have to feel guilty about
Look,
going
I'll tell him
outside.
that we have to be ready by 9:30 to leave, and then I'll be like, that night for good, I was like, yeah, but we got to be up and out here by 9:10. And then on that morning, I'll be like, we got to be out of here at 8:50. I'm ready to go. And he'll be like, yeah. And then we go.
Yeah, but you didn't say that the night before. That's manipulation.
Yeah, but you don't notice. I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah. So I thought that was neat. That is definitely good. I'm glad you're reading that. I think I started it, but I don't think I got very far into it because I started reading. I think it was the Occult Black Magic book or something like that. I can't remember. I just realized that we're moving around a little bit, so I'm gonna fix these, but. We'll get there. So yeah, the Kybalion. I did have that on my list of things to talk about. Joy, I think it's very neat that that's required reading. Like I said in the chat, I think it should be required reading for a lot of things. Should be required reading for Christian, anyway. But yeah, I have found it to be very. I don't want to say affirming, but very engaging in helping me re-experience and underscore things that I already believed but couldn't find the right words for them. And that's how it usually is with books anyway. So what else we got? Any other topics? Any other thoughts? Manny, anything you wanted to talk about? I do have a couple things on the list, but I just figured it's a good check time.
Is Maybon on that list? The Equinox?
So Mabon was not on it's on my list, yes, because that is what, next week, right? It's coming up.
It's this it's this weekend, or it's this week.
I need to. Where's my calendar? Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that.
No, more at the end of the week.
Okay. I have no concept of what the day is right now, except what was originally put in the stream. So, is it the 15th? 17th. 17th. Okay, so we got a couple of days. Oh dear.
Today's the 17th.
Autumn equinox.
Should be the 22nd.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing my time.
Thursday or Friday. Yeah, I think we're doing something with Cups on the weekend. Okay. Saturday or Sunday. I have to check. I always say one and it's actually the other. But yes, autumn equinox. We did talk a little bit about it 2 weeks ago. And we shared some pictures of some really cool altars and stuff. So I don't have any of that prepared. But as we've talked about before, I think the biggest thing with people when they think about fall equinox is the balance. I always like to point out we talk about equinox and solstice, and sometimes we don't talk about solstice in the terms of balance, but we only talk about equinox in the terms of balance. But both of them are part of the overall balance. That's why I kind of include those, because even though our days and nights are shorter, which this morning was very clear because it did not get light out at all till like 6:30. It's almost 6:45, which we're used to it at like 6. The days and the nights are changing, and we are now in an equal section, but we are going from our solstice where we had the longest days towards the shortest days. Or am I backwards? Yeah. The dog days of summer.
Yes.
And I think we're doing some ritual, and one of the things that I am spending more time doing, ritual-wise, is I am trying much harder to be less concerned about having things in the right place, because it stresses me out and I just don't want to do it anymore. So I'm not going to in my new realm of things. That means when we get to the ritual, and if something doesn't go the way it's planned, meh, meh, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
You have anything specific for Equinox for Maybun?
I have guests that are visiting. And then one of my friends who lives here locally, I invited over for dinner for Equinox, and we're going to be doing kind of like stone soup, but it's going to be Puerto Rican sancocho.
And what is
And
that?
so we're just gonna. What is stone soup or sancocho?
The second one.
The sancocho.
I'm not saying it. I don't want anybody to come back and smack me.
Say it 5 times fast. No. Sancocho is supposed to be a very hearty soup stew, and it's kind of like whatever you have, and you just throw it in there
Okay.
because that's what it is for that time of the year. Whatever you have, you put it in. It's supposed to be like a feel good soup, and you just kind of come together as a community, have it as a family, and it just reminds me a lot of the story of Stone Soup on how the individual comes into the town. All he has is a stone. He puts it in a pot of water, and then people is like, "Oh, you got to add this. Oh no, you got to add that." And then slowly but surely, a little bit of everything's added to the pot, and then the whole community is sharing this stone soup.
Yeah. That's a really good story. We should go through that at some point. I don't have it like the whole written story, but yeah, I mean you did a great introduction to it. And there's actually a book that you can buy, a couple actually that kind of talk it through. But it's a very neat story. We kind of, I think the one thing that comes to mind when you say stone soup too, and what you also just mentioned about the other word that I'm not going to mess up. Is I think we forget that, you know, right now I can go to the market, supermarket, grocery store, and probably get lots of things that aren't technically in the season, maybe even for this area, but in period, right? And that's not really what it's about. What it's about, especially in ancient times, you may only have 2 or 3 things, or you may have a community where each has their own garden. Maybe one person has 5 radishes and there's 100 people to feed, and one person has 2 carrots that are left, and one person has a little bit of meat that's left, you know, and those things come together and shows the power of working with group and your community to actually really take care of each other. It's a very nice story and process. Like we get to choose just about anything we want whenever we want. Like we can make apple cider in March, but can't do that in ancient times. You had to make it when they were harvested, and that was the kind of the connection to the, well, not necessarily the story of stone soup, but that's the connection to the earth that I'm looking for, that I feel.
Right.
The stone soup is the community part, which this is getting close to Thanksgiving time too. I mean, yeah, there's Halloween in there. Don't want to skip that one. I'll get beat up. Because that's the best time of the year.
Yeah, because while it's still it is equinox and we do recognize balance, it is also still the second harvest, and that's part of what we work with too.
I want to get so much more into those details at some point, because those are the things that really make it worthwhile to me to just engage and be part of the stuff, you know. I know Samhain is a big deal. It's definitely my favorite. I usually take it off for work every year. I think I'm going to take it off again this year too.
Yeah.
And then Silent Supper is my other big
Oh yeah.
end of October thing. That is, and I don't care if it's 1 person or 10 people, like no matter how it happens, it is one of the most powerful things that I do each year. For me.
Sure is. Yeah, I agree.
And we've got a lot has changed this year for me, in the realm of dead. And it'll be interesting to see how that is experienced. I'm excited. Yes, Kelvin, we are going to do some quick readings here shortly, I think. And And I know we lied and said we were probably going to do full readings at some point on Discord, or on stream, but I don't know when and if we'll do that. But we'll see. We'll do it one day. Any other topics, content, anything anybody has a question about in chat even, or anybody, any topics, anything else to end on before we switch to the cards?
Cards and what they say.
Just saying, Manny, speaking of Mabon, the cards that I am going to be using.
Oh my goodness.
Season of the Witch, Mabon Oracle showed up. A couple weeks ago, actually. We used it at our last meeting for Cups. So,
Very nice.
look, Calvin was up in there first. That's not always the case, is it?
Calvin! Whoop whoop. Oh, I need to get some cards then. Let's see.
Yes, you should have had cards. You know better.
Well, I know better. But...
Yes, you do. All right, so guys, if you want a reading, please put it in the chat. We will give you general reading unless you say otherwise. And
I got cards. You just can't see me.
Yes. All right, that's awesome.
Cards.
Can I ask a question? I know Rook has already said it a lot. He likes, and I do too, like using our witch room, but this is much easier.
Is it? Okay.
I wonder what the group feels like is the preferred. Do you guys like this setting kind of podcasty, or is it really important for us to do it mostly in our main room? We cannot have guests in the main room, but we had lots of stuff that messed up when we kind of change over. So this is actually way easier for us all the way around. So I've got Kelvin. I'm going to put PW next because she loves a reading. I got Furry Rage. You will get a reading.
Dragon.
Tabby, did you want a reading? Dragon, yes. We're going to... I had a feeling that might be a question.
That was my feeling too unexplained. I like it when we're all together too.
Tabby,
Tabby.
you are welcome. All right, so we have Kelvin, Paranormal Witch, Furry Rage, Dragon Dancer, Tabby.
Have fun, Joy.
We
Enjoy the Kybalion.
We might decide
to
pop up there. We might decide to pop up there.
We were thinking about going as well. That's a great place, good energy, and it's a nice flow.
So we might see you there.
We might see you there.
Bring the cards if we do. I actually have a different set I want to bring if we do go. But it wouldn't be bad to hop on the bikies. All right, so let's get started. I am using, like I just showed, the where'd I put the lid? Seasons of the Witch, the Mabon Oracle.
Oh, you're doing an Oracle too? I am using the Magic of You Oracle by Fiona Horn.
Ziggy, I got you on.
She's my hero witch.
That'll be cool. We probably won't do the workshop. We're just going to go up for the kava and the ride, but we can be supportive and present.
I got Angelarium Oracle of Emanations.
Ooh, that's
Can't
a good
see
one.
it, but I'm shuffling them.
I like that one. The Angelarium is really good. Ziggy is our spirit animal. I love it. All right.
Ziggy is the spirit animal.
Whoever gets their card first, call it and read it.
Oh shit! Hold on. Who are we doing for? Sorry.
Kelvin.
Okay.
After Kelvin will be Paranormal Witch, and then we have Furry Dragon. Furry Rage,
Wow.
Dragon Dancer,
Wow.
Tabby,
Dragon,
and Ziggy.
Furry Dragon and Dragon Rage. Okay. Wow.
So if I didn't call your name, please let me know if you want a couple cards pulled. All right. The first card for Kelvin Ghost Whisperer. Now it is
Oh,
interesting, yeah, to think about the Oracle decks as guidance more than tarot of actually kind of explaining what's going on. Falcor, yes. So, so Kelvin, what I'm getting from this, or what I hear from the Oracle, is you need to do something. So, not that you are the Ghost Whisperer, but that you need to be Ghost Whisperer. You need to kind of listen to what's going on around you and engage in the liminal ebb and flow of things. That's a lot about what Samhain is about when we get to it. Mabon is more about the consistent, keeping things level and equal, as in the equinox. And then as you get to Samhain, we're continuing that ebb and flow of the tide. So this is saying to pay attention to that. Put a little bit more effort into really seeing in silence what's kind of like, just rolling in and rolling out that you wouldn't otherwise necessarily observe. It's paying attention to very small things that you that are around you, that are speaking to you, but that you're not necessarily either listening to or noticing. I should say, not actively ignoring, but just there's messages, there's things that are happening around you that are being whispered to you, and you may not be hearing them. So spend a little bit of a little energy in that liminal space trying to figure that out.
I wish you could see the card I pulled.
It
kind of ties in with what you're talking about. I ended up pulling Shetael, the Angel of Silence. Basically, Shetael talks about sitting in silence, and you have to absorb it from everything around you, be it sound, be it feeling, in order to get a better representation or understanding of your surroundings or your situation. That's basically the most important thing about it, because words aren't going to work. You have to sit still, sit in silence, and absorb from what's around you.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Well, I pulled Phenomenon. Be still and listen to the spirit.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Well, Kelvin, I think we
kinda
have a synchronicity here.
it kind of just says what it is, but it is time to invite and commune with spirit guides and ancestors and consider their advice and guidance.
That is too funny.
That is too freaking, yeah, cool.
It's like they're trying to say something.
They're
Yeah,
trying to tell you
I
something.
I feel like there's a
man.
message here that's consistent. I'm not sure exactly what it is. That is too cool. So I hope that gives you some guidance there. I would definitely be listening to the Earth's hum and all the things in between everything, because something's happening. Something good is coming in that space.
Oh, excuse me.
Paranormal Witch is next. She wants to know if her crush
Paranormal.
knows that she exists, because they've been talking a lot lately. He does not know that you like him,
Ooh.
or you think he does not know that you like him, is what you're saying, because you don't know.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is cool. This is the kind of stuff I love. I like the romantics.
Just call me Miss Cleo. For
Now,
only
you don't need to be
$4.99 a
working
minute.
with that man. He ain't got a job and he going with the other baby mama. Remember what she said that? Okay, I'll focus.
Paranormal. My first card for Paranormal Witch is Harvest Moon. And it says to slow your heart and move gently into the coming of self. So, let me get this in the center here. Harvest Moon is so called Harvest Moon because it's the moon that gives the illumination as the harvest continues into the deep of the night. So that when we have the celebration at fall equinox of that second harvest, we have the things that we need to sustain us through most of the winter. So as you go into the dark or go into the self, the part of you that maybe is less known even to you, the harvest moon is giving you light and guidance to go towards that. It's going to be big. It's going to be orange. It's going to be guiding, but it's going to give things a different cast that may be a little bit more difficult to really follow. In the idea or in the era of, does your crush know you exist? Well, yes, we can assume that because you're talking. But does he know that you like him? The Harvest Moon isn't going to answer that question, but what it is going to say is that as long as you are going through the things that are appropriate for you, and that you are self realizing and being self confident in the things that you're doing, which we want to go through it as a certain level, you will have a positive outcome, whether it is actual something further or not. Again, Harvest Moon, this card and the Oracle is not going to answer that. But what it is going to tell you to do or give you guidance for is just, follow what's illuminated. Don't look for hidden meanings. Just see what's on the path and take it. I wouldn't push something. I would just let things be very organic.
I got Chesed, the right hand, and empathy, which is the emanation. And this basically, this card is a reminder for allowing peace to exist between individuals. It's basically the ability to look inside the hearts of those around us and to see what, people or yourself and others are truly alike. And it's also a reminder that the need for love and kindness is an essential part of existence and transcends all of the differences that we might have. So I'm not sure that is actually answering whether or not he notices or not. And I kind of agree with Salann in regards to let it organically pan out, because you kind of have to look within yourself and within him, identify the situation and kind of go with it. And it will naturally kind of gravitate, or at least it should, into an answer for you, and basically to lead you where it is that you're looking for.
It's almost like there is some type of relationship in one way or another, but it just isn't clear enough to know what type.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled Lavaria, Let Love Grow.
Wow.
Lavaria appears when a healthy expression of love has turned into obsession with love, or more specifically, an idea that is not love. The skeletons of your expectations are limiting your experience of love. Release your attachment to what was, and let a new concept of love evolve in your heart and mind.
Wow.
Lavaria.
That gives a little bit more direction, I think.
Yeah.
A little more specific. All right.
We're doing good. We're in sync today, guys. That's cool.
This is crazy.
Uh-huh.
I'm
All
like
right.
hell over here.
Paranormal, I hope that gives you some guidance and some answers your questions. So we will see. Falcor is next. Just kidding. Furry Rage, Furry Dragon, remember? Yeah.
Furry Rage.
Furry
Look,
Rage.
I don't want to say the wrong name. Last time I called him Dragon Dancer or somebody else when I was pulling the card. Furry Rage.
Furry Rage.
I'm focused on Furry Rage. Was there a question or general?
General.
General,
No.
alright.
Yes. General. He's letting Dragon Dancer ask the question. Well, I got a repeat card here. Furry Rage, we got the Ghost Whisper again for you. And I think that already paying attention to the ebb and flow of things is probably high on your list. And you are probably motion sick and water sick with the ebb and flow right now of starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. So the Ghost Whisperer again is saying, what does that mean? Like, what is that point? If you're stuck in that ebb and flow, the tide, there's a message in there somewhere that is telling you something. I'm not saying it's saying like, don't go, or maybe you should, Or it might just be saying all of these stops and starts are happening so that things can go in the right place, regardless of what that is for. The Ghost Whisperer is really about the listening to and hearing all the things that are in between what is and is not actually happening and trying to happen.
The card that I pulled was the Angel Advertency Sukla. And that card is very it's very on regards to wherever you go, whatever you do, you flourish. So you take your roots and you put them somewhere else, and next thing you know, boop, there you are, you're established. So it's essentially, as I just said, whatever it is you do, however it is you do it, there's going to be flourishing on what it is that you're doing. You're just going to keep on going.
And don't kill me if I'm saying this incorrectly. I pulled Avenoir, make peace with your past.
As you face your challenges today, embrace your past. Climb high, be brave and bold. Unconditionally, the past lifts you up. The tree of life is yours to climb. Trust it.
That's a pretty card.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
It's a beautiful card, yeah. Avenoir. Make peace with your past, and it will lift you up. Right.
That was pretty. Have to look at those cards again. All right. Well, I hope Furry Rage that gives you a little bit of thought process. It sounds like some things are going to be really positive when you get those roots put down, but things are happening in the way they have to make that happen, I think.
Yeah.
Dragon Dancer, there. Let's see what you've got.
Will she ever get out of Florida?
Will you ever get out of Florida? So the answer to the first question I have is, are you out of Florida? Is no. Then I think you were
But
clear
will
on.
you ever?
I think you were clear on that earlier today. But will you ever? Yes, is the question. I think our best goal at this point was even using one of those magic 8 balls and just going with whatever it says, because it has certainly not been an easy travel, has it? Let's see what the Maven Oracle says. The Crow. So this is very similar to me to Ghost Whisperer in that there's something that's being said in the universe for a reason that is kind of winding by, but not actually making itself known right. So things keep getting paused for a reason because there's a message somewhere in there. I don't think this is saying you're never going to get out of Florida. I think you guys are actually going to make it out very soon, if not in the next couple of days. I think it's going to work out. But I'm getting the feeling that there's a reason why there are so many starts and stops, and that there's a message in it somewhere that you need to carry with you to the new location. Whether it's, getting that new flourishing, right? That start. But one of the things in here, in addition to the crows, is the crone who is, kind of guiding the crows, or with the crows in guidance. But there's also a bunch of apples, and each of those apples has an eye on it. Apples are messengers, and they can be messengers of difficult things. Or I say not messengers, messages. And that's kind of why they have the eye on them, I think, because there's something that we have to open our eye to see that has a message that's going to get us where we need to go. I do think you're going to get where you're going fairly soon. I just think that I'm feeling like there's a very specific reason all this stuff is happening, and it's a lesson that you have to take with you when you go. It's not for here. So that's what I'm getting.
I got a repeat going on here for her. Shatael has emerged again, Angel of Silence. That card again, reminder to sit still, sit in the silence, and absorb everything around you, be it sound, be it sight. Not necessarily that you're missing something, but something that you're supposed to be absorbing probably prior to your departure in an effort to get you to your next journey in life. So sit still in that silence and see what's going on. Like, what is it that you're missing? Or what is it that you're overlooking? What do you need to bring with you? What lesson, basically?
Okay, and I pulled, excuse me,
Samadhi, perfect acceptance.
Samadhi teaches that when you give up being a perfectionist, life is suddenly perfect. Consider that your life in this moment is purely a reflection of your consciousness. Um, Everything is exactly the same as it was yesterday. It is your attitude that has shifted, and this is for better and for worse. For what you resist tends to persist. So maybe don't if you're perseverating on getting out of Florida, maybe try to let it go and just know that
Yes.
it will be okay and you'll get out and then the door will open is what I take from that
I
Samadhi.
absolutely can see that. So, not just for the record, I don't know how you absolutely pronounce it, but I've heard it as samadhi or samadhi, and it is, it's really a like almost like nirvana. It's the final attainment of whatever a spiritual message is. So, very cool.
Poor dragon.
I know. Well, I get it. I feel so bad. I'm like, oh god, that is. It's not funny. It really isn't. But it's like it's how everything in the world tends to work, right? Just say, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck it. We'll leave when we leave, and it'll be like 5 minutes from now. Like whatever the problem is will be fixed, and you'll be on your way. You know. Tabby is next. Tabby, if you're still in. And then we'll finish off with Mrs. Ziggy, unless anybody else. Ms. Ziggy.
Did Tabby have a general or
Everybody's general unless otherwise indicated.
okay? Caw.
Caw, motherfucker. You made me miss my shuffle. For Tabby. Kayla, we are popping you right on the end, my dear. We got just a few more to do. Ba-da-da-da. Yes, I am absolutely excited to have you. So thank you for joining in. And let's see, though, what we have for Tabby. Ooh. Tabby girl, you in danger. I'm just kidding. That's not true. But you did get Haunted House from the Maybin Oracle. Sorry, I'm getting delirious. So the Haunted House is basically the things that are bugging you, the things that are haunting you, the things that are in your haunted house or looking back in the mirror that scare you, that you don't like, are the things you need to just let go and move on from. So everything that bugs you or that is giving you difficulty or causing you stress or no matter how big or small it is, it needs to be let go. It needs to be released to the universe so that it can no longer haunt you in your haunted house. Unless you want your haunted house to be excessively haunted, then you don't let it go. Just hold all the souls of the damned within. That's not in the card. That was just me, just for the record. But yes, the things that haunt you, the things that are stuck in your haunted house that you just are not comfortable with and don't want, you need to let them go. Open the door, swish them out, be gone. Let them ride out their imaginary broom out the window and move forward, and you'll be good. It's a little bit of house cleaning. It sounds like some dusting you need to do.
I pulled Gabriel, Angel of the Heralds, and basically this is a call to action. Something's basically moving you forward. Wherever you're gonna go, there's this call to action. Things are gonna get done. Things are moving forward. There's a progression because there's this surge of energy that you can work with, and it isn't necessarily commanding you, but it's kind of like a beacon that is kind of like trying to aim or direct you in whatever it is that you're working on. So know that there's going to be a surge of some sort, be it a thought or a movement or something that's going to cause you to kind of go forward, and take action.
All right. And I pulled Ubuntu, Compassion for Others. I really like this card. I think it's pretty sick artwork.
What if you were solely defined by your compassion for others and the kindness you extended? How would your life look? How would you conduct yourself if Ubuntu, which is humanity, was solely what you were noted for? Consider how your benevolence can extend to other species and creatures. This is the time to empathize with others' journeys and put yourself in their shoes for better or for worse. Ubuntu.
All right. I like it. Ubuntu, like the Linux. That is where the word came from. Tabby, I hope that gives some stuff to your stuff. Some guidance to your
Meaning
thoughts.
to your week.
Some meaning to your week. Some messages from Mebon. Ziggy, my dear, is next up for the run. Oh, excuse me.
Siggy, siggy, siggy.
Can't you see?
Your kindness always hypnotized me.
Do you love her flashy ways?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Ziggy, the card I pulled for you today is Cranberries. And so this is, it's kind of hard to see, but you're seeing what is a large field of cranberries. We've seen the Ocean Spray commercial, right? Where all the cranberries floating in the water. That's what you got down here. And then what appears to be, to me, the goddess pouring water to keep the water flowing. And what this card says is devour the truth and let it sink into the depths of all that came before and all that will come after. So Ziggy, this to me is kind of like, embrace and push your goddessness, your inner goddess, and recognize that you're not getting just, information or progress into the things that you enjoy spiritually and physically and mentally, but devour it, which means like at a rate of something that satisfies your hunger to kind of know and see what's going on around you. So you've got a lot of things going according to this in a way that you like them. You might not have everything in place perfectly, but there's a lot of things in place, right? There's a lot of things that you are enjoying, and you need to continue them in the truth of them, just to be a part of all of you, all of what you are. There's lots of symbols of peace in here. The way she's holding the bowl is in a very peaceful manner. The dove, animals in the sky, peaceful. She even looks peaceful. She's just kind of present. The colors peaceful. We're getting into fall, right? So it's just speaking very much to me of being your own inner goddess, and continue making sure you're doing the things that that you enjoy and that you like and that are growing you, and tell everybody else to fuck the fuck off. That wasn't in the card either, but that's kind of how I feel.
I ended up pulling Osmed, the Angel of Annihilation. So that card specifically is, there's a situation that you're dealing with that you kind of have to wipe the slate clean, kind of have a clear head, clear slate for something. It's very similar to the Tower in regards to the falling and the crumbling of something old to make room for something new. There's change that's coming, but you have to remember, are you going to be subject to the change, or are you going to be the change? And that's what's important in regards to this card.
I like that.
That's a good one.
I pulled doable. The key is within your grasp. What you seek is within your grasp. As with all yeses, there are adjustments. Release yourself from a lingering mental prison of fear that you are not enough, that you are not worthy. You have the right key, don't doubt it. It's time to be grateful for your teachers, even the ones whose lessons you didn't necessarily like. Past lovers, past employers, bullies, cyberstalkers, all had lessons to teach you.
So a lot of lessony comments today. It's like acceptance and learning and allowing your truth to be your truth. I like that.
Yeah.
You know, cutting it up and making it fit. That does not mean the body and luggage. Seen way too many true crime lately. All right, Kayla is up next. Unless there is anybody else who would like a read, please just pop your name in there. Otherwise, Kayla, you are last on the list. Well, my ear just started ringing really loud.
Ooh.
That's a sign. All right. I have Fire Cider for Kayla. So as you can see, the things that are in there are things that all are kind of supportive of protection, actually, and warding off. And we always have like a ward jar here. And Fire Cider, according to the card, is dwelling in the medicine that exists to protect the spirit. So I'm thinking and feeling that this is just saying you might have recently pulled in a lot of things that comfort you, but you really need to pull in the things that heal you, not that just comfort you. There's a difference between the two. Some things we just like because we like them, but there are some things that maybe we don't like as much, but we still know how healing they are and how much they mean or matter to us. So something in your environment, something around you, that's kind of nagging at you or hanging off the edge is looking for some healing, and draw in the things that will help you heal that, the medicine that exists. And it doesn't necessarily mean physical medicine or like medicinal medicine. This could be time. This could be extra expression of art in some way, shape, or form, but something that is your medicine that you need to do to release some vestigial something that's hanging on to you that's keeping you from being healed fully with whatever's going on with you at the moment. That's what I'm getting out of this.
Yeah, so I pulled Remph, who is Angel of Time. Funny that you should say that. Basically, things that happen, they start and they come to an end. This card is a reminder that things happen, and they happen at the time that they need to. Yeah, it's a man-made construct, but they happen in the way within that time for a reason. So you need to allow whatever it is that's going on to happen within that fabric of time. Just let it be within the time that it needs to be, that in order to progress.
I like it.
And mine kind of goes with that one. And I hope I'm saying it right. Eunoia, everything in perfect balance.
Yeah.
The girl of Eunoia is the embodiment of beautiful thinking. Her crown of thorns and leaves indicates that she understands through her journeys of pleasure and pain that she is ultimately free. Everything is in perfect balance as her soul takes flight. The moon halo around her head signifies a healthy mind, emotionally balanced, rational in all its highs and lows. When Eunoia appears, it is a sign of current or impending endings and ensuing inevitable rebirth. Eunoia.
Nice. Huh.
It was pretty.
It kind of reminds me of that Pronoia video that I shared not too long ago on social media.
Yeah, it does.
Because the prefix EU means good. Like eupnea is good breathing, or eucardia is a good, strong heart rate. And noia is no. So like paranoia is knowing or concern around things. Pronoia, which was what the video was that we shared about, is about being anxious and thinking that good things are going to happen to you. But eunoia seems to make more sense. I like that. You know, let the good things happen. I'm glad it resonates with you.
Yeah.
Um,
Glad you're back in the Sunshine
Yeah.
State.
You may not be glad you're back in Florida because not
You may
everybody
not.
chooses to come back to Florida, but
We're glad you're back, even in this heat.
um, everybody who's trying to leave either comes back or can't get out.
Or can't get out.
Lots of beach and pools, yep. Because no matter where lives end up, whether we think they're going to take us the place we thought we were, I never thought I'd end up in Florida ever. I just knew that I was going to be in like Colorado or Montana or Vermont. Don't ask.
Oregon.
But yeah, it's just interesting. It is very interesting where life takes us, good and bad and indifferent. So I'm glad they work for you and they help you, and hopefully healing is coming your way. That's never easy either, and that's true for everybody. Everybody has something they can heal or allow to heal. A lot of times we're our own barrier to that healing. So I'm really glad that you're getting that. So I know we have a lot of stuff to do this afternoon. We are moving our two smaller batch meads into secondary fermentation. So that has to happen first. We're going to get the ball on that. We have a secondary pineapple and a secondary spiced honey. We already did secondary the 5 gallons of mixed berry with local hand harvested Georgia honey, even though it's not our local, it's local Georgia honey. And then our other ones that we have with our wildflower honey. So super excited about that. If anybody ever makes their way over to Cape Coral, Fort Myers, considering everybody else is leaving us, we're more than happy to share because that's what it's for. No, I'm not judging. That wasn't okay. Yeah, it was.
All our friends are leaving.
Well, I was gonna say, Kayla's back. Although
Kayla's back.
I think you're probably on the other side because I think that's where you are. Generally, I think you were on like Fort Walton Beach, or Walton Beach is just stuck in my head because of something I was reading. But that area, that side. The Bright Line have a train to you? No. Nope. It sure does not. Yeah, and we're literally directly across from if you 30 miles north of Miami, if you get on the Alligator Alley and come straight across, it's what, Brad? 2 hours, 15 minutes probably.
Yeah.
To us. Yeah. So.
But who knows? We might make our way up there.
Well, maybe, I don't know how long you've been back, and this is going to sound like a jerky thing to say, but maybe Dragon Dancer, there was a trade, and they had to wait for Kayla to get all the way back and settled in before you guys could leave.
It's a balance.
The gates of hell did not open because there wasn't the right balance.
It's an exchange. Yeah.
Oh, that is hilarious. That is terrible, but yeah.
I will not let you leave until I get another.
Yeah, soul for a soul. What if Florida is bad? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, it was great hanging out with you guys. I wish we could do it longer. We are going to try to make some of these longer since we're only doing it twice a month now. But again, we have a lot of stuff to do this afternoon. And we may want to get up to Kava culture if we can. So with that, any parting words, anybody?
Do what you want to do this week and don't feel guilty about it.
Don't forget to always bring a towel. I don't know.
Yes. Hell is where the heart is. And sand hurts when it gets in the wrong place. So that towel, that's good advice. Very good advice. Probably we'll be on playing games later today. If anybody happens to be around, we may not be playing the same games, but we will be playing. So with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Have an even better week. I know I will because I don't have to travel this time. Although, I probably could. I could make a trip over to West Palm Beach. Maybe I'll say hi. So, since I have a couple buildings over there. But anyway, y'all have a great rest of your Sunday. Love you all. Hope you have a great time. And we'll see you again in, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.